Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Susan's Just Making It. I'm Susan, and as always I'm here making stuff, messes, chaos, and just trying to make it through life. If you've been here before, welcome back, and if this is your first time watching, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone's doing well, and if you like today's video, thumbs up is always appreciated. So in today's video I am sharing my latest completed junk journal. Have a lot in the works. This is the last one that I actually have completed as of late. Really was excited to do this. It was one of those things where I had an idea, I sat down, and I didn't really drag it out. I kind of had in mind what I wanted to do, and I pumped this out within a couple of days, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I wanted to do something a little different this time, so I did a ring binding on this one, and just to keep it more interesting, I did like the two little sections. I was going to put maybe some ribbon to dress up the rings. I tried, I didn't like the way it looked, so just leaving it as is. Whoever ends up with this, if they want to dress up a little bit, that's always an option, but I wasn't coming up with something that appealed to me, so I'm like, we'll just leave it. So this journal will be for sale. You can contact me via my email, Instagram DM, or if you are a friend on Facebook, you can Facebook Messenger me. So if you're interested at all, just get a hold of me and we'll discuss, all the details involved with that. Now the cover, this is a spring themed journal, and I use primarily pinks and greens because for some reason those colors just were speaking to me when I decided to make this journal. So this is the cover I used, and actually this is a printable off the Graphics Fairies premium membership, and I will link Graphics Fairy down below. They have a YouTube channel and they have a website, so I will link all of that down below. The premium membership is $9.98 a month. They're definitely worth every cent. They have themed collections with images and printables. They have tutorials for working with images digitally and in physical form, and just a lot of different paper crafting tutorials and projects. I love their membership. They also, if you don't want to pay for the membership, the website has a lot of free images as well that are public domain, and you're free to use however you choose to do so. And even the premium membership, they have a pretty liberal usage policy as far as using their images. So if you are into paper crafting at all, it's definitely worth looking into their premium membership. $10 a month is really definitely a good value for what they offer. So anyway, there's the front, and I left it on no embellishment because I think the image itself is beautiful. It does not need anything extra. It's got the decorative edging, and then on the back I think it printed out like both the front and back on one sheet, so I just used this for the back. But it was nice if you want to put a quote or your name or something like that here, or even if I chose to sign it here as made by, but I'll probably just put like maybe a little label down here, made by, probably on the inside back cover actually. So that's the front and back. So we'll just go ahead and get into this. I use this textured pink cardstock on the inside front and back cover. I put a book plate here, write your name. It's pretty pink patterned paper. Made a tuck spot out of this, presented to, it's like a little certificate. You can see the date down here, maybe 1890, and you fill in the last number. So let's see, I have this card. It's a bookstore receipt. This came from Graphics Fairy as well. And then I have this image. I think this is from Ephemera's Vintage Garden, which is a website that has a lot of images and printables and stuff like that. You can just do a Google search and that'll come up. But I'm pretty sure that's where this image came from. Very pretty with the green and pink. So we have those in there. And then over here, made this little pocket. This was an image off Graphics Fairy Premium. They have a collection that is, I can't think of the name of the collection right off the top of my head, but it's mostly pink and green spring ephemera. And this is, I think it's a scan of like vintage wallpaper. And I printed it out and I did a little, oh goodness, I can't think. I punched out a little spot for, you know, a thumb tab, so you can see that it's a pocket and get the contents out easily. And this is the other side of that printed paper, which I thought was really pretty. So I made that into a pocket, put a little tag here, it says number 19, no significance, it's just a screen. And here's another one of the little wallpaper images from the same collection. So I just turned that into a little card that can be written on and ink the edges. And then this is an image from one of their collections. I'm not sure which one, but I thought she was really pretty in her green dress, so I incorporated this. Love that image, she's really pretty. Then I tried something that I saw the idea. I've seen it in a few places, so I had to try it. Had an old book that I purchased at an estate sale. Yes, I've caught a lot of slack for using books in my paper crafting, but I do. Some people don't like it, but I do. A lot of paper crafters do it, and we catch it. But anyway, putting an image onto the book pages, I like the way it looks. So I put this little bird in here, spring and pink, and then the back, you know, you can always glue something on there if you choose. And then a tag. I don't think this is from Graphics Fairy. I'm not sure, but I don't remember exactly where I got it. And I just stapled some antique lace on there, and again the back for writing. I want to do something different, so I put some paper bag pages. Something keeps it interesting, adding something a little different. So, you know, it's a lighter weight. I think it's a lunch bag, so it's pretty light. Some stamping. This is actually some pattern paper out of one of my paper pads, but I wanted to experiment once when I was tea dyeing paper, and I'm like, I wonder what will happen if I tea dye some pattern paper. And actually it does give it a nice little aged look, and this is some tea dyed pattern paper. I use this stamp throughout just to add interest to some of the pages. Got a little partial page here. This is tea dyed as well, a little scrap I tea dyed. And then I put this little image here, and I tried to ink around to give it all a vintage look. We have some like crocheted type lace here, and then another partial sheet, and this is tea dyed as well. Little image here that I cut a circle out of, and you can see how it's got the streak here, and that happens sometimes when you tea dye your papers. And then an image that matches one shown a couple pages back. This is actually some ledger paper. It's not old or anything, it's just out of a ledger paper book that you can probably buy like at Walmart or something, but it was green, so I thought it added some interest. And then I just put this little label on here. It actually looks like it's an image from like an old receipt for seeds and stuff, but I thought it looked nice there. I mean, it would be weird, you'd have to turn it to the side, but if you want to, you could, you know, write on the lines there, or however you choose. Down here it's kind of got lines for writing. The back of a book page that has printing on it again. It's pretty pink flowers, pink and green. And this is a book page. Actually, I think these are some book pages I bought on Etsy or something like that. And I just wanted to include it because they were the right size, and I thought they were really nice. And they're mostly spring images, not so much that one, but we've got the bee here, and then the little kids playing outside, and it looks like a spring image, and then the daisy. So I thought that the pages were pretty fitting for the most part. So over here, a partial pocket's a little bit short of being a full page. And actually this is a printable, and I don't know exactly where I found it on the internet. I should be more mindful where I find stuff so I can list it all, but I guess I'm not as as vigilant as I should be. But it's actually a printable, and I think that this was actually supposed to go on here, but I thought I could maximize it by doing it, you know, back to back. So I just inked around it. We've got a little pocket here, and like I said, then you've got this. And I like that it's snow lined if you want to write on that. And then I made some tags. This is some tea-dyed pattern paper, and then I took some lace, and then I took some crocheted lace to make the little like tab, and then it's just plain on the back. It's tea-dyed, so you can see it's darker. Something a little different with the lace. And then this is a printable, and I think this is Yvonne Preston. She is a paper crafter here on YouTube, and she has a Ko-fi, I think it's how you pronounce it, Ko-fi shop, KOI-FI, and she has printables available, and I'm pretty sure that that's where this tag came from. But I think it was really fitting for this journal. And then here's just a little tag, and I believe this is from the Graphics Fairy as well, and I just stitched some ribbon on there. And then this is just I'm not sure what this paper is. It's like an off-white cream paper, and I can't, off the top of my head, I don't know exactly where the paper came from, but it's a little bit off-white. And then I had this, it was a little border off like a paper pack I put on for a tab, stamped, and left a couple sheets just blank for whatever. And then again, here's that, some of that wallpaper looking wallpaper look printable from the Graphics Fairy collection. And I'm seeing that I'm going to have to clean this up a little bit maybe. I think some of the adhesive went a little bit out. It's showing up on camera a lot, but actually in person you have to really look to see it, but it must be where some of the glue seeped out, so I do apologize for that. It's kind of messier than I would like it to be. Stamped image. So anyway, I cut it, rounded the corners, and made it into a pocket. I took my circle punch and made a little thumb tab, so just a pocket. And then this is I don't know if it was a tag or if I cut it down into a tag, but I'm pretty sure this was from the Graphics Fairy, some of their wallpaper images, and I stapled on some ribbon. So there's a little tag, and I let the ribbon hang over the side. And then I believe this is probably from Ephemera's Vintage Garden as well. I don't know, I printed it out quite a while ago. I'm kind of sad. I hope I have it backed up somewhere, because I don't think this is available from them anymore. And I printed it on like a cardstock that has like a linen type texture to it, as you can see. And I hope I have it backed up because I love this image. The beautiful lady with the wings and the, I hope I still have it. I don't want to use all those that I have printed out already. And I just put it on some this pretty green cardstock, inked it up. This was an image, and I think somehow I don't know, somehow it got messed up, so I made it into like a little page. But I love the roses, and I put that on the back. Some more book pages. No significance really, other than that I like the way they were aged, and I like the texture of them. It's got like a heavy, I don't know, it's got an interesting texture of it, so I just incorporated that. And then to keep it from being too boring, I put this little printed image there, stamped it. Another partial, yep, that's what happened. I think somehow I didn't punch it right to fit, or I don't know, something, I can't remember, but I ended up, I'm like, I'm still gonna use it. So I just cut it in half and made the two partial pages, because waste not, want not, and junk journal's about making the best of the junk you have, I guess. So these are some butterflies that I printed out. Like I said, I need to be more mindful where I find the images, but they actually printed out like a whole sheet of them. So one day I took a couple sheets and I just cut them all out, and you know, the pink and the green, so I had to put this butterfly on there, and there's the other half of that. and I like that it's lined again for writing, and I just love the roses. This is some tea dye paper. You can see the uneven dyeing that happens. Stamp again, and this is a sticker, and I don't remember like the brand this is, but it's from my earlier scrapbooking days, and it's still kicking around. But I really this sheet had a lot of vintage floral images, and I really like them, and I've been working my way through them, and I'm getting sad because there's not too many of them left floating around. But not only is this tea dyed paper, but I actually printed some script on it, and I think I cut, it was a full page, but I think I cut it down so I could use it in a few different projects. So I put that in there. Some more really pretty printed paper with the faded pink roses, and it's got some script back there. Really pretty, just paperweight. Another little label, and then I put some, you know, really pale pink lace on the edge. Put a little stamp up there that I've used throughout. Like I said, I had some when I tea dyed some of this pattern paper, a lot of it was scraps because it was an experiment. So I decided to make them into some half pages but still coordinate. Just cut a circle out to be a tab for the page, and this has a texture to it. It's like textured cardstock. You can see it a little bit. And this is from the Graphics Fairy. They had, I think they were supposed to be envelope seals, and I really liked it, and I wanted to use it for a tab, but I didn't want the stark white to show, so that's why I cut the circle out, so at least it would be pink on one side and then the rose on the other side. So it works. And then on this little partial, I used one of those clusters I made. I put some pictures on Instagram and Facebook when I made up a bunch of these clusters, and I wanted to incorporate a couple into this journal. What's the use of making these clusters for journals if you don't actually throw them in a journal once in a while? So it's kind of layered. We've got a little ticket back here, which I made. I found some clear stamps. I'm not sure where I purchased them from, but they all look like different tickets. So one day I took some scraps of cardstock and printed a whole, you know, stamped a bunch of them and then cut them down into tickets. So I used that for the base, and then I layered it with some paper bag that I ripped, some little quotes and wording that I had printed out on sheets and cut all these little strips out, very time consuming. Some lace. This is a little label, I think from the Graphics Fairy, that I cut out, printed and cut out. Another little image, domino sized. She's really pretty. And I took a paper punch. I have a couple of different sized butterfly paper punches, and I had some butterflies. One day I punched a bunch of them out of like little scraps that I had. Stitched it down with some brown thread, zigzagged, and then put some rhinestone gems down the middle. And I think it's really cute. But there's one of my little clusters I made and incorporated. And then we've got that. I believe this is from the Graphics Fairy as well. Maybe not. Not positive, come to think of it. It might be, might not be. But I like the little label, so I threw that on some tea dye paper, some stamping down here. This is a little tuck spot. This is scrapbook paper from my very early days of scrapbooking. We're talking like early 2000s, like 2003, 2004 maybe. And I have just little scraps floating around yet, and I try to incorporate here and there. I'm trying not to hoard them, even though I kind of have been hoarding them because there's very little bits left and they're my favorites, but I sacrifice them from time to time. Again, on tea dyed paper, as you can see the uneven dyeing, how they lay in the tea. But I just made a little tuck. It's like glued down here and here. And I put this in there. Like I said, I think this is Ephemera's Vintage Garden. This is a beautiful image. Put that in there. And I'm trying to think. I think this is from Graphics Fairy as well. But I'm not sure which collection. But it's author premium membership, but I'm not sure what collection it is. And I put some crinkled seam binding. I actually put an eyelet here to make sure it doesn't rip. Blank on the back. Some stamping on the back of that. I know this is Tim Holtz paper. It's from the Wallflower paper pad. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous paper pad. nature themed, very pretty. But again, we got the pink and green. I love that it's like collage because we got some music here. We've got the flowers. We've got like some distressing here. So I added some green lace. And even the back of those papers are really pretty. This is also cut from that same Tim Holtz paper pad, but I made it into a pocket. It was like a little offcut from a sheet. I thought it was very fitting because it's got like the pinkish tint to it. And yes, I know it's raised off the bottom. I did that on purpose because it's more interesting that way. Another one of those tags that I believe is from Yvonne Preston's Ko-fi shop. And then this is I don't think this is Graphics Fairy. I think it's made with Graphics Fairy images, but I think the website, oh, it's not coming to me. I'm gonna look it up because it's a website I use a lot for their tags and stuff, and I will link it down in the description box. It's just not coming to mind. It's like it's on the tip of my tongue, but it's not coming to me. I'll link it because I use a lot of their stuff. And I just stapled some yellow ribbon. Artsy Fartsy Life. That's what it is. I knew I would remember. Artsy Fartsy Life. It's a blog, and she makes a lot of junk journal printables, and she does use a lot of Graphic Fairy images. Because like I said, they have a very liberal usage, policy. I'll link it. They have a lot of nice little collections and printables. And then this is a printable. It was like, I don't know, it was just kind of weird the way the image was. So I decided to make like a little booklet. It just, I don't know, lines here and then the flowers here. So I folded it where it looked strange to me, and then I rounded it to make it into like a booklet. I don't know, it just was weird to me. So, but that works. Another book page with some pink roses. The back, kind of boring, like I said, so I just put this little printable. It's supposed to be like a receipt. And then this was, this is Graphics Fairy, a little, banner. So I made it into a tuck. I didn't put anything under it, but something can be tucked up under it. Back of a book page, that's why it's kind of shiny. It's got the sheen to it. That stamp again. Some crocheted like lace trim. I don't know if it's crocheted. Technically it's not, but that's the look. And then this is an image. It's a book page. I've purchased book pages a couple times before I started buying the books and taking them apart myself. Like sometimes on Etsy you can get like a little packet of book pages, and this was in there, and I thought she was just really pretty, and I wanted to put her image in there because it's a beautiful image. It's not very spring-like. There's like people in the background, but just the same, I liked it. This is also from the Tim Holtz paper pad. So I made a little page out of that. Put this little image there. And this is also from Graphics Fairy Premium. There's throughout the website there's the frames. They're supposed to be from a like photo album, a vintage photo album. There's lots of these frames, and the opening was kind of small. I know I wanted to put something behind it, but not much room to do much. And then I had these images, which are also from the Graphics Fairy, so I just put her in the opening. And again, some of the glue kind of got messy, so I'm like, I can fix that. So I did this little piece of lace to cover up. There's no mistakes, creative opportunities. So I put that there, and I had to put a little butterfly here to dress it up. It was a little too plain for my liking. And the pale pink lace, and it works. Very spring-like, very pretty. Another one of those book pages. Wanted to dress it up, so I put this little, strip here as a border. And we have another pretty pink flower on the other side. Incorporated quite a few of these, as you can see. I don't know, it worked for this journal. And then this pattern paper. It's light green and it's got some pink flowers. I thought that would be pretty. Some more of that green lace. It's actually like an aqua color almost, but. And then the stamp here. Some more of that Tim Holtz paper. We've got the pink, we've got the green. Yellow rose doesn't hurt. And then I came across this little strip of paper, and I'm like, what can I do with that? So I had this crazy idea. I wonder if it would work as a tab. And I just folded it over and I left it kind of open here, and it does work. You know, you might think to put a pen there, but I probably wouldn't because it would probably rip over time, but it gives it some dimension because it's got like a puffiness to it. So I thought that was nice. Like I mentioned, the back of those Tim Holtz papers are just as pretty as the front. I really like this. The other side of that little tab. This is a little image from one of the Graphics Fairy collections. It was actually supposed to be for some faux postage stamps, but I just cut them into rectangles and I use them here and there. So I thought that with the green and pink. And you have to have a bunny in a spring album. So this is off a sheet of some rabbit images I found. So I put a bunny in there. And this is some of the older paper from my very early scrapbooking days too, early 2000s. And I thought it was fitting with the pink. And we've got the pink circle because I have another one of those little seals, the circles that are supposed to be seals. So I backed them in pink. And we've got a pink rose, that stamped image again, another sheet of that green paper. And again, I used another one of these strips as a border over here. I think it's like supposed to be like a vintage receipt with some flowers on it. Nonetheless, pretty. Used the stamp a couple times. I love this little, keeps it from being a little too boring, just that little tiny touch. And then I've got some lace over here. It's white with some pink in it. I don't know how well it's showing up. It's got a little bit of pink in it. Narrow lace. And this is, again, I think, I'm pretty sure it's from the Yvonne Preston again. I will link her Ko-fi shop down in the description box as well. I will have Graphics Fairy linked. I will have the Artsy Fartsy Life linked, and I will have Yvonne Preston's Ko-fi shop linked. So if you like these images, you'll be able to find them. But very pretty tag. Just not the traditional shape. It's a tag. This paper, let me take a peek on the back. Yep, this is Tim Holtz as well, but this is the back. Another one of my little clusters I made. We have some torn piece of paper bag. One of my little tickets I made. One of those little faux postage stamps from Graphics Fairy that I just cut into a rectangle. A paper punch butterfly. Some brown zigzag stitching, and another one of those like word strips. Let the journey unfold. Some gathered pink lace, very pale pink, and then there's the front, which I love the washed out look to it, but it's got the pink on there. Got some script, very pretty. So this is actually the other piece of that tea-dyed script that was earlier in the book, and it's from one of Graphics Fairy collections, and I printed it from the Graphics Fairy, but I printed it on tea-dyed paper, which is a challenge, by the way. And then I have this little image that I turned into a tuck spot. Don't remember offhand where it came from, but pretty. This is from the Graphics Fairy Premium Collection. It's the same collection that I mentioned. It has a lot of pink and green spring images, and I thought she was really cute. I stitched on some of this green crocheted lace, and then I also believe this is from the Graphics Fairy as well. They have a few collections that are bird themed, and I thought this bird with the pink would look really nice. And of course, birds say spring. Tea-dyed paper. So this is just some pink cardstock that I inked and made into a page. It's actually pretty heavy cardstock. So let me just take that off. This is from the Graphics Fairy. They do have in their printables some templates for envelopes. This may be from that pink and green spring themed collection. I'm not 100% positive, but it might be. And then, as you can see, you know, all you do is you print it out, score it, and there you go. And I like that it's, you know, a little bit different on the front and back, keeps it interesting. And then I just put it over the page, and to hold it in place, I have an altered paper clip that I made. And basically, you know, as you can see, it's a paper clip, but you kind of decorate the front, some cardstock. We've got some book page in the back. It's kind of buried in there, but one of the tickets I made, some script, little image. I put a little number label. This is one of those domino, they're just different printables they have, but they're like the size of a domino, like if you make ultra dominoes. So I put that back there. One of those butterflies that I print and cut out, staple that together, and then I just put this little Paris label. So it's just an altered collage paper clip I made, and it just holds the envelope on there. But it could be moved around and used anywhere. That's just where I stuck it. So we have some more of that white paper. I wish I could remember what this paper was from. And I just did a little bit of stamping. And this is some more of the tea-dyed pattern paper. Put a stamp there. This is a, they call it a sticker. I guess you could print it on sticker paper, but it's from the Graphics Fairy, and I just fussy cut around it, inked it, and glued it right down onto the paper. It's really pretty. The pink and green, she's really pretty. And then over here, I got the bright idea. I don't know how original it is. It's just something I thought of. Maybe somebody's already thought it up. If it's not a stolen idea, if somebody else did it, I am not aware of it. I'm not brilliant enough for it to be original, but I had the crazy idea with paper bags to cut them down and make them into pockets to look like little bags, little flat bags. So you'll be seeing these in other projects if you watch my videos. I made a bunch of them one day, and I thought they just made nice little pockets for journals. So it's just stitched around 2 pieces of paper bag, you know, cut it with pinking shears. This is from one of the Graphics Fairy collections, a little card, and then there's a little I don't know if this is a printable that I cut around or if it's a sticker. I don't know right offhand, but I just decorated up the pocket and then included a couple tags. I believe this is from Ephemera's Vintage Garden as well, but like I said, you need a bunny for spring, and we've got some flowers, and I like the little poppies. Very pretty tag, so I put that in there. And then this is a printable, and I'm not sure where this is from right off the top of my head. I can't talk, I'm tired. Don't pay no mind. But I thought this was cute. It's not really pink or green, but I like it, so I put it in there. Another book page with a carnation printed on it. Another piece of ledger paper, green, so I put it in. Little image, circle image there. Stamped again. This is some tea-dyed pattern paper. I believe this is from Die Cuts with a View, if I can remember correctly. They have a, I can't think of the name of the collection right offhand, but it's very pretty. And I had this scrap, so I tea-dyed it. Image here to dress it up. It's more of that green crocheted lace. That rubber stamp. Another pretty piece of pattern paper. A lot of pink and green. This is no, this is tea-dyed. No, this isn't tea-dyed. It's too smooth. Stamped again. Another piece of pattern paper. This is tea-dyed. I can see from the back. Made a page out of that. Another one of these little collages that I made. Apologize, something in my eye. One of the tickets I made that I stamped on the colored cardstock, so it's a little long ticket. I put a little label with numbers on it. One of those butterflies, stapled it on. I try to use some staples in these, you know, something different for texture. This right here is actually an experiment gone wrong, but I tried to salvage some pieces. I had some glimmer mist that I've bought lots of paper crafting stuff, like on eBay, like lots, and Macari lots, and I wanted to play with it someday. So I took some tea-dyed index cards, and I was spraying the different mists, and the original idea didn't work out, but I did salvage some scraps I thought I could incorporate. So this is some glimmer misted little cardstock. Another one of those little postage stamp images that I just cut out into a rectangle. We have, I think this is either a sticker or a little die cut. This is a little label from the Graphics Fairy, one of the collections. This down here is actually part of this ticket. So I just made a collage, and with it being, you know, long and thin, I thought it fit very well on the long thin page. So kind of did that, and like I said, just tea-dyed. This is another piece of that lunch bag, and it was too boring, so I just put that on there. A little image I printed. Put that stamped image again. Another book page, the back of it. Another one of those little images to dress it up. We have another pretty flower printed out on it. And this is the last page. Some printed paper, like earlier in the book, I think at the very beginning. And I made, what that is, a piece of paper or something. Made a pocket out of another one of those like wallpaper type print where I printed out, and I put the little thumb tab to make it into a pocket, and then I put a couple of tags in, which they're blank on the back and inked. And I'm trying to think. I think this is from the Graphics Fairy, one of their collections, but the pink and green. Stapled some ribbon on there, and then this is from, I'm not sure where this is from. I don't think it's the Graphics Fairy. I think it's from some other printable I found somewhere, but the pink and green works, and some more of that crochet trim for like a tab, and then the back's plain with just the stamped, and then we've got that textured pink on the inside of the back cover. So that is that. Sorry, I made the video a little bit longer than it probably needed to be. I could have probably just flipped through a lot quicker. But again, I'll probably put a made by little tag like inside down here, so that it doesn't, you know, affect the back, in case whoever has it wants to do their own thing with the back. So that is my latest completed journal. I have other ones in the works, but they're not completed yet. And I guess when I was making this, I just got so into it and was so excited to finish. It didn't take me more than a couple of days to put this together. I just, as I was going through a lot of my printables and my images, I just put a bunch to the side that I thought I might want to incorporate that had pink and green, and it came together pretty quick, and I'm very pleased with it. I really like this. I am putting it up for sale. Again, this is one that would not break my heart if it didn't sell, but I don't need 5,000 journals floating around, and I would like to get them in the hands of others so that they can be enjoyed by many instead of hoarding them all for myself. So if you're interested at all, just get in touch with me. Email, Instagram, Facebook. We'll discuss details, and I'll see if I can't get this in somebody's hands that will enjoy it. So thanks for watching the video. Sorry it took so long. So that's this one. So until the next time, bye everyone.